Zergo, good to see you. Rex, Lauren, good to see you here. Daryl Billingsley, good to have you here. A few familiar faces and names joining today. It is absolutely teeming down with rain where I am in Australia. I'm in a place called Currumbin on the east coast of Australia, and it is just pouring with rain. It hasn't stopped raining for probably about a week now, and will continue to rain for a week. So not shooting from outside, we'll be here today for this session. So welcome to the Business Unleashed Live series. One of the things that keeps coming up is this whole concept of the niche market, right? So this comes up quite a lot. And if we look at opportunities within, I guess, our agency businesses in terms of what we're delivering to the marketplace, there are several ways in which we can get leads, right? There are several ways in which we can get leads. What I want to talk about is something that creates an enormous amount of leverage, can position you very quickly with authority within a market. I've broken the strategy down with people that I coach in the Consulting Champions groups and people that I've worked with. Those that have applied what I'm about to share with you have gone on to generate multiple seven figures in revenue in the market. However, that doesn't have to be you. You can generate a significant amount of revenue with what I'm about to share with you today. So, because we all know, like from a business point of view, we all have this concept that, hey, niche is very important. You know, we've got to have a niche. We don't necessarily have to have a niche, but it does help. If we look at the most successful agencies, they tend to have very clear, defined audiences that they serve, and that's how they've been able to productize what they do and be able to leverage what they do. So I wanted to, this is something that I have done many times myself throughout my 35 years of consulting. I've generated incredible amounts of revenue doing what I'm about to share with you today. And I'm kind of going to give you a couple of the ways in which you can open the door to generating opportunities with this particular idea. So I have got some slides. I'm going to share some slides with you as I prepare this. I'm willing to answer questions if you need some guidance, some help, some understanding. I'm more than happy to walk you through how you apply this for yourselves. And so I want to kind of start with the bright and shiny object of what I'm about to share with you, okay? So the bright and shiny object is there are too many niches to choose from. It's like, which niche do I go for, right? And so I want to kind of address that a little bit along the way. But that's something that a lot of people struggle with, like what niche? And with niches or with selecting niches or working with niches, I have two philosophies. One philosophy is if you really do understand a particular market, then I would start with low-hanging fruit and go after that market. If you don't and you want to pick a particular niche, there are three things that you must be very clear about. One, that you can help them get a result. You're able to help them to get a result. Number two, that you actually kind of like working with them, right? It's going to be very hard to work with people you don't like. And number three, that they can actually afford to pay you, or will they pay? So number one, can you help them get a result? And number two, do you like them? Do you like working with them? And number three, right, can they pay? If you tick all three boxes based on any niche criteria that you select, you've got a niche, right? Then you've got to understand how what you do applies to them and how it helps them and what problems that they have that you solve for the market. So I'm going to assume that you all know what you're doing, that you're all experts in what you do in this presentation. And so at the end of the day, I'd like you to take an idea, or one of the things that I know that if I'm going to show up live, like I come up live right now, I'm doing it daily because we have an event coming up next week. But you know, I like to take away at least one idea and I want to apply it. So what I would like you to do, and just as a virtual contract between us here on this live call, is that you take, I'm going to ask at the end of this presentation, the one thing you've taken away that you're going to apply, and you're going to apply that in the next 48 hours, 24 to 48 hours, right? So that you at least, if you're going to learn something, you might as well get some feedback from what you learn, right? There's two types of people. There's what I used to be. I used to be one of these people. I used to be called, or I would identify myself as a knowledgeable derelict, right? A knowledgeable derelict is somebody who consumes an enormous amount of training, information, ideas and just never executes on it. And then down the track, after consuming so many ideas and so many things along the way, I look back and go, I'm no better off than where I was back then, right? So I haven't applied what I know. So I learned a long time ago that if I'm going to learn something, or I'm going to give some time to somebody who's going to teach me something, that I'm going to actually take an idea or a concept and I'm going to try it immediately. I'm going to go out there and put it into place and practice straight away. Right? So as a contract between you and I on the screen, and nobody else is watching in the world, that I'd like to, at the end of this presentation, ask you if there was one thing that you were going to take away, what's the one thing that you're going to apply immediately and get some feedback on? Right? Get some feedback on. So hopefully if you agree with me, just type one in the chat. If you're with me on that contract, you're going to take one idea from today, you're going to apply it, and you're going to get some feedback. Right? So just type in one in the chat. Only 2 people are agreeing that they're going to apply what they learned today. Because here's the thing, this is your time. Like, I really am very respectful of the fact that you are giving me time here today, that you're investing your time in learning something from me, right? I'm very mindful of that. And so to make this the best outcome is win, lose or fail, try something, apply something that you learn, right? Win, lose or fail, apply something, because that's the only way you learn. Learning there's only 2 modalities, right? You're either winning or you're learning. There's no failure, right? There is no failure. You're either winning or you're learning something, right? And learning means that you're improving the process. You're getting feedback and you're improving the process. You know, if we look at all our forefathers are the people who invent stuff, right? It's like marketing campaigns. Does every marketing campaign work successfully out of the gate? Absolutely not. So what you do is you make an adjustment and improve, and you give that a shot, and you make an adjustment, improve, and you give that, and eventually you've got something that converts and something that works. Right? So you're not failing to get to the outcome. What you're doing is you're learning to get to the outcome. You're learning along the way. So there's no winning and losing. There's only winning and learning, right? Winning and learning. So that's a little bit of a free reframe for you from perspective, because at the end of the day, we all we know what we want out of our businesses. And if we don't know what we want out of our businesses, we want to get really clear very fast. Because without that understanding, without that clarity, or without that knowing, then you're going to be meandering along the way. And a lot of people that I know in this game right now, due to whatever the circumstances are economically, geographically, sociology, from a social point of view, from a psychological point of view, it has an impact on us, right? We've just gone through a period of what they call VUCA, right? VUCA. VUC stands for volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity, right? Volatility, uncertainty, complexity, and ambiguity. The cool thing about being in VUCA is that means it opens up awesome opportunities for all of us, right? The cool thing about the place that we are in, right? The place that we are in, right, is that we are in a time of incredible opportunity. Governments are spending tons of money funding projects, investing money in businesses to support and prop up industries that have been affected by the pandemic. In fact, there are many government loans and stimulus packages still available, and more to come. They're helping to prop up industries and businesses. And if you watch a little bit about the business media, you'll see that there are certain sectors that are flourishing, that are growing, that are changing in the current markets. So there's plenty of opportunity there right now. There's tons of opportunity. And within every industry right now, there is a great deal of readjustment, building a level of clarity around what's going on and what their opportunities are. And so this is an opportunity for us in the digital marketing space to take advantage of what is out there in terms of people who are looking for what we do. And the fastest way to do that is to start asking questions, start looking at what's happening in the real world of business so that you understand where you can open those doors of opportunities. So today, I'm going to be sharing with you a strategy, a concept. I'm going to walk you through a case study with one of my champions who literally out of the gate went to an industry that she knew nothing about, right? And walked herself into millions of dollars worth of revenue of clients in this process. So today I want to share essentially that whole concept, right? The whole concept. So a couple of things I'm going to cover is the different levels of business opportunity from a lead point of view in terms of where our opportunities are to grow, to acquire, engage customers. Lex, good to see you here. Oscar, Chris, Susan, Jeff, Avery, John McDermott, good to have you. George, Petarudis, I hope I pronounced that correctly. Leticia, good to see you. JB, Steve, and Johnny Odell. We've got a whole bunch of people joining us. So essentially what I wanted to share with you today is a place where you can find a lot of lead opportunities, and also a place where there are plenty of doors that are open for you to step into to provide your services. The question that I would like you to think about is, how does this apply to me, or how can I apply these ideas to my business, right? So first place, we know what we want to sell. Every single person here knows what we want to sell. The second thing that we kind of understand is, we know if people buy what we have to sell, that there is a certain impact that we will have on their businesses. There is a result, there is an outcome, a very clear outcome that we can deliver in our business. It doesn't matter what avenue of marketing that you provide, or digital service you provide, you must understand that you're providing a clear outcome. If you can link the outcome to an ROI, to a tangible result, even better. So if you can articulate to a tangible result, even better, right? So, and by the way, in the marketing world, we very much can, through analytics, tie our activities to a direct outcome, direct ROI, and direct result. Even SEO people, I work with SEO companies that one of the guys I work with, they specialize in the e-commerce space with SEO. They can track revenue from search all the way through their strategies, from search all the way through to purchase. So they can sit there and say, hey, our SEO or our search engine optimization tactical things have brought you in X amount of dollars worth of revenue every month. We're either going to increase our capacity, or we're going to keep going, right, with their clients. So every aspect of what we do in the digital space, if it's digital, it's measurable. And if it's measurable, we can tie it to outcome. We can tie it to tangible things in the marketplace. So a few more people joining us. Good to see you here. All right, so let's, I prepared some slides. I went into my laboratory, right? In fact, this is my lab that's sitting behind me here. And I prepared some slides for the presentation today. I'm going to kind of walk you through what we're going to talk about in those slides, right? So I'm just going to open my screen here, and just give me a thumbs up if you can see my slides popping up on your screen. Awesome. All right. So this is what I call the client generation hierarchy, right? Client generation hierarchy. So it starts at the bottom. In fact, 67% of all business that is written in the digital marketing space is written by outbound marketing activities, not inbound marketing activities, right? 67% of all the sales made in the digital space are driven by an outreach, not an inbound, not an attraction strategy, a direct to market strategy, right? So outbound is at the bottom of our pile. The next level up is paid traffic. Paid traffic is very easy to put some money to advertising, attract clients at a certain rate. You sit down and talk to a number of people at a certain level, and a certain number of those will turn into clients. Advertising is a direct attraction strategy, and it's paid for. It's not cheap, right? Inbound marketing. So inbound also incorporates paid, but it incorporates social media. It incorporates things like groups and your social connections and the different platforms you can use to attract people by putting offers out there to the market to come towards you. That's inbound marketing. Then we have influence and authority marketing. Influence and authority marketing is really building your profile within an identifiable market where they know you as the expert for what you do. So you might say, so for example, our agency at Breakthrough, we are the experts in the physical therapy space. We're highly regarded. We're the most expensive Facebook advertising company in physical therapy. We work with some of the largest physical therapy companies on the planet. We have over 415 clients. We have built a level of influence and authority within a vertical market. And that attracts, we just generate lots of referrals. We get a lot of direct sales. We do all our marketing and advertising in that market. So we've built a sense of influence and authority in the market, right? The top of the tier where all the money is made at a much larger level. And I've worked in this level. This is the place where I go to generate the most revenue in agencies, is in strategic alliance joint venture partnerships, strategic alliance and joint venture partnerships. That's where the real money is. The people who serve your market or the people who actually lead your market. That's where the money is. I'm going to speak to where you can find these people, but more importantly, how you can actually use this as part of a niche vertical. So the next triangle is a little bit different, right? So you'll know that there's 3 levels. There's social strategies, the level below, cold email, LinkedIn, social media, webinars, networking, all the regular strategies at the lower level, right? And then we have the middle level is all our paid traffic, right? Facebook ads, Google ads, YouTube ads, media, journals, TV, radio, so above the line marketing, right? And then you have what we call groups and associations and JV partnerships. They are where you can get the greatest exposure to the largest amount of people, right? And I'm going to share with you how you go about doing this. I'm going to share with you today how you go about doing it. This literally can open the floodgates to client opportunities, right? If you really tapped into this, you can open the door to hundreds of clients. You can build and establish an amazing brand in your market. You can scale. You can actually build something as a very significant asset. Now, that's not for all of us. Some of us just want to build a lifestyle business. It'd be really cool if I can make a couple $100 grand and I'm okay. And again, this top tier, the groups and associations, the JV partnership, they offer you a faster route to that revenue than going and using all the other channels, right? Using all the other channels, right? So the groups, right? Where are the groups? The LinkedIns, the Facebook groups, the membership groups, the associations. There are over 10,000 professional associations that are registered through major organizations and government NGOs right around the world. Over 10,000 professional. What I mean, this is not charities. This is professional not-for-profit organizations and lobbying groups for industries. So if you pick any industry, like for example, if we said the plumbing industry, or if we said the accounting industry, or if we said the banking industry, if you look at every industry has a governing body that is a represented lobby to government and to the industry, that is a respected holder of the ethos of the actual industry, right? Every market, that's 10,000. These are 10,000 professional niches that make money. These are businesses. So within those 10,000 niches, there are millions of businesses, right? So that fourth tier here, the association, is probably the biggest, easiest market to find clients, to get the intelligence of where the market is at, and to open the doors to opportunity to engaging for your digital marketing services. So even for, and by the way, some industry groups have multiple associations. So for example, in the accounting fraternity, there are 6 major international, national, state, and federal associations. 6, right? The 2 biggest ones are the Chartered Accountant Association, and the second one is the CPA, the Certified Practicing Accountants Association. Those are the 2 big ones. But then there are smaller ones that are categories, right, as well. All of them have, in fact, the CPAs have over 300,000 members just in the United States, right? The certifieds or the chartered have more than 50,000 members in the US alone. That's 50,000 practices, right, that are recognized by that organization, by that association, and they are licensing them. So some associations, what they do is they license their members. They arbitrate for their members. They provide legal services. They provide insurances, protections, risk management. They provide lobbying to the government to change laws, right, in the market. So associations wield an enormous amount of power, especially the big ones. And here's the cool thing. They're super easy to find. And the other cool thing is they actually let you access their lists of clients. They let you access their list of clients. I'll say that one more time. You can get access to lists of thousands and thousands of targeted leads in the association market, right? So, and you know, most people say, where do I find leads? Well, association websites are a fast place to find leads, because on an association website, they'll say, find a member. Right? And you can go searching in members, and some of them put things in alphabetical order, and some of them actually categorize them in cities, right? Some of them actually categorize organizations within city markets that you can grab, right? So understand, to me, associations is a very cheap way to find lots and lots of leads. But here's the other cool thing about associations. In associations, you have a lot of intelligence. Most associations run media. Most associations have spent the last year in the pandemic talking about how their businesses can stay open. Their membership is critical to the lifeblood of their associations. Even associations are prospective customers. Some of them spend millions and millions of dollars on marketing and advertising themselves. When I ran an agency, we specifically targeted this industry. The members of associations were not our clients. The actual associations themselves. Remember, over 10,000 professional groups just in the United States. There are 7,000 of them in Australia. There are 12,500 in the United Kingdom. There are tens of thousands of them all over the world, right? So there's plenty of clients. This is a niche. Associations in and of themselves are a niche, and they have really big marketing budgets. Even charities, not-for-profit organizations, have massive marketing budgets. One of our consulting champions, Tina, specializes in the charity market. The charities she works for will invest sometimes up to $15,000 a month in Facebook management fees, let alone spending hundreds of thousands of dollars a month on Facebook ads to attract donors to their charity. Lots of charities are actually very profitable. They're not for profits. That's a category, right? But they are for surplus because they need the money. And to get the money, what do? They spend a ton of money on advertising. Most of you in the world would have seen ads at one point in time for World Vision, for UNICEF, for all these charitable organizations. They are spending millions of dollars in ads, right? It's not that those ads are being donated. They are paying a lot of money to marketing companies to leverage their message to attract people to share, to donate, and raise capital. So associations are also a niche in and of themselves. One, a very financial niche because they have lots of financial opportunities within those niches. You can actually niche down in niches, like some of the champions I work with. They specialize just working with membership-based organizations, and they focus on running membership campaigns for membership, let alone that you can actually run campaigns to raise money for sponsorship. You can run campaigns to raise money for events. You can run campaigns to raise money for trainings, right? There's whole bunches of sub-niches within this market. And the cool thing is they're really accessible. And the other cool thing is they identify who the decision makers are on all their websites. They have a board of directors and they have an executive directorship, and each person's name and each person's personal email number, and including sometimes the phone number, a mobile phone number, is included in the lists. There are literally thousands and thousands of contacts in this market. The other cool thing about associations, especially those that are in state and city-based bodies, the presidents of those associations are an honorary position. It's not a paid position, it's an honorary position. And generally the presidents of those associations are people that have had years within the industry, right? They've been there for 20 years, and this is their way of giving back to the industry by becoming president of their association, a leader of their community, right? So they've got all the contacts. They've been in the market for years. They know what's going on. They can see the trends. They've got history. These people are an incredible source of leads and knowledge, and also great opportunities for clients because they tend to come from large companies, right? So the association market is massive, easy to find. Just Google association. I'm going to share with you in a moment. I'm just going to go down the rabbit hole with you and show you an association that's in the United States that has about 7,000 members, and they actually list all the members' names, the addresses, the websites, in some cases the phone numbers, and you're able to download the entire lists. In fact, you can select cities and locations where the members are. So associations, if you're looking for leads, if you're looking for connections and opportunities, this is a gold mine that is untapped by most people. Most people in the agency world, when they're teaching about growing agencies, they don't talk about this stuff because they have no idea about how big this is in most markets, right? They have no idea how big this is. When we first started Breakthrough, our first strategy was to use an association. In fact, we generated $1 million worth of sales the first time out in our engagement with association. That's literally at the early stages of starting that business, right? In that agency, $1 million worth of revenue came from our first strategy with an association, right? So so a couple of cool things about that: easy to find clients, easy to get contacts, easy to get information about what's going on in their marketplaces. Right now, they haven't been able to do major events. Most associations rely heavily on getting their members together in in-person events. They haven't been able to do that. So a lot of this stuff has been on Zoom. In fact, their memberships have been, or associations have struggled through the pandemic. Some industries have immensely struggled and some industries have absolutely flourished. The cool thing about their websites is you can go to the media pages and see what's going on. They'll tell you what the trends are. They'll even give you the reports on what's going on in the industry. They'll tell you what needs to happen. They'll tell you that, hey, the last 12 months has shown us that digital marketing is something in our industry we have to start paying attention to. And this is where people, I'm noticing in associations that I'm looking at, I'm noticing people are saying, where do I find a Facebook ads person? Where do I find a Google ads person? Where can I find somebody to help me navigate this digital space? People are asking those questions all the time in association markets. And you get this is, there's a whole bunch of people here. I just want to share with you, the competition in these associations, zero. You've got very little competition if you go into this market. There's very few people tapping into this. The reason why is because they don't understand it. The reason why they don't tap into it is they don't understand the methodology or the mechanism to get into these markets. That's probably the biggest thing, right? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just stop sharing. I'm going to set up a screen here because I'm going to show you exactly an example of what I'm sharing. By the way, if you can and would like to, just type in takeaway you've had so far from what I've shared. Any takeaways from what I've shared so far, just type it into the chat. I know that you're all here listening intently and watching intently. If there's any takeaways that you've had so far, just type it in the chat. Oscar says, wow, yeah, wow, yes, that's a takeaway. What's the wow, Oscar, right? If you've had a takeaway so far, an idea so far, right, explore the associations. In fact, that's what I'm going to do right now is I'm just going to open up a window here. I'm just going to randomly pick an industry. In fact, I'm going to pick an industry that has attracted a lot of attention, lots of money in this industry. These people do spend money on marketing and advertising. They're very much into above the line campaigning. And so I'm just going to put this up for you so you can see. So the website I'm about to show you belongs to the American Society, right, of Plastic Surgeons, right? American Society of Plastic Surgeons. So there's this thing. In fact, I'm just going to go to this website I'm going to share with you. So you're going to say, John, where's the screen, right? So I'm going to share this with you. Okay, so just give me a thumbs up if you can see my screen. Awesome. All right. So I'm just going to go, I'm just going to allow them to do their thing. But I'm just going to go back one to the website. All I typed into Google was Plastic Surgery Associations America. Plastic Surgery Associations America. This is the American Society of Plastic Surgeons, right? And so they have a membership of about 7,500 members. That's their membership. The association, the head office is based in Washington, DC, right? They're a lobby group to the government, but they've got offices all over the United States. And by the way, there are about 11 different associations for plastic surgeons in this one little niche, right? But what I've done is they've got this thing that's got an interesting button here. It's called Find a Surgeon. So I'm going to click Find a Surgeon. This is really cool, right? And so I'm going to pick a zip code. Let's pick New York City, 1001 zip code. And I'm going to filter by procedure. So let's look at what are we going to do? I can filter by reconstructive. Let's go. I'm looking for nose jobs, rhinoplasty. Reconstructive, breast implant, breast reduction, free, ear, facial implants. Let's go nose. Where's my nose, people? Facelift, dermal, ear surgery, rhinoplasty. So I've just picked rhinoplasty. I don't know what doctors, plastic surgeons, in the New York area, in the greater New York area, 50-mile radius, who do plastic surgery, right? That's what I'm looking for, and I am looking for. So now I'm just going to locate them. Search, sorry, hit the search button. Helps if you hit the search button. So now it's going to go searching into that website. And look at that. It's given me all the doctors and phone numbers as well. So I've got 1, 2, how many practices? 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. 12 per page, right? And there are, how many pages? I'll get to page 8, see if there's 8. So next, no, that's it. There's 8 pages. So there's nearly over 100 doctors, right? That I could go that specialize. This is New York City, right? New York zip code 1001. Right? I've got the name of the doc, right? They show me who they're a participant with. MBIR is that they're a participant with another with organizations, right? But I can get the name, I can get the address, I can get phone numbers and call their practices. I can even find them on maps, right? This is just one website, yeah, one website, okay? Before and after photos, video gallery, patient safety, all the things that they talk about to give information for people. The purpose of this website is to educate people and to find a plastic surgeon. Essentially, they're an association, they arbitrate for them, they legally do things for them. There's news. I'll notice I'm just going to go into the website here, you know, news, how much does a facelift cost? So, you know, if I want to target plastic surgeons and I want to find out how much a facelift costs, I'm going to look at those sorts of things, right? I've got things like press releases, briefing papers, advocacy news, statistics. Let's look at the plastic surgery statistics, right? There's a full report on the plastic surgery statistics for 2019. I'm sure there's going to be one for 2020 launched soon. Here we go. Overall trends for the national cosmetic procedures. I'm just going to open this PDF up. Now they're going to tell me, right? So breast augmentation, 2019 to 2020, 212,000 procedures, 200,000 procedures, 41% change. There's things in growth markets, but it also tells you, if you go into the reports, it'll tell you things like how much the average procedure is. Over 1 million treatments in laser hair removal. What else we've got? We've got cellulite, over 35,000 procedures. Chemical peels, over 1.3 million procedures. Hydrochloric acid rejuvenation, 2 million procedures. Lots of cool stuff in here, right? So it tells you how many procedures there are in the course of the year within the industry. But if I really want to, it'll also tell me how much people pay for them. I can actually get that data and information. It also tell me the growth rates of the industry. And if I went in a little bit further into this association, procedures by region, procedures by ethnicity, average surgeon fees, let's check out how much plastic surgeons actually make, right? Very cool, right? So in this chart, if I can open this chart, let's give me this chart. I need to look at this. Right, breast augmentation, national average surgeon fees. The fee, this is just the surgeon's fees, how much money they make. That's not how much money the procedure is. The average doctor makes about $4,000 out of a breast augmentation, about $2,500 out of breast implant. Every time they implant, that's roughly what they make, right? For reduction, $5,475 that they make per procedure. A buttock lift, $5,000. Let's see if there's any really expensive procedures here. $8,000 for a lower body lift. This is how much a surgeon, this is the money they make. That's not how much they charge for the procedure. The procedure is, in some cases, tens of thousands of dollars. But it's telling me that a person who does a tummy tuck, if they specialize in tummy tucks, they make about $6,000 per procedure, right? On that procedure. So I can even find out what the average revenue per doctor is based on the number of procedures that they would do in their practice, right? So I'm just going to stop sharing there for a second, but it's really easy. I can literally go and pick most association websites. They're going to show you where to find things. They're going to give you details, ideas, even things like what events they have, what marketing they do. All of that is on an association website. right? So one of the things, and that key to that process or that thinking is that there are different levels, right? So there's the international bodies, there are the country federal bodies, then there is a state level bodies, then there's regional bodies, and then there's city level, local bodies. So there's several different levels of industry groups, and all of them have a website. All of them have a website, they're easily findable. So for example, if I was targeting the Accountants Association, the CPAs have city-based bodies, and each of those bodies have a board within those cities. And they actually they will list the previous 10 years of boards. So it'll give you the name, the phone number, and the email address of people who were elected to positions of honorary positions within the association in local markets. And generally, those people tend to run larger businesses. They tend to run larger businesses. So you can find a list with phone numbers and emails inside these websites where they openly publish the list. They still, for thousands and thousands. There's so many easy pickings, absolutely, right? Get off our asses opportunity everywhere, absolutely, right? Forgot about the Lions and Rotary. Yeah, right. Lions and Rotary, they're notable people that run larger businesses that need help. And also they're very, very good referrers. So the cool thing about associations, there's plenty of opportunities from an influential point of view for yourself, and also to build relationships very, very quickly. I'm going to walk through a case study in a moment just to show you how easy this can be and how big it can get, while I take a drink here. So going back to my slides. Okay, so different levels, right? International, state, city, county, suburb. That's where it, and there should be a federal level there. So there's actually 5 levels. So the types of associations. You have charity, you have faith, you have professional industries. The ones that I like going after are the professional industry and the government-based associations, right? You also have trade group associations. So trade group associations are associations that are specifically aligned to help businesses with international trade, right? So there are trade-based organizations right across the world. So for example, one of my favorites is an association called AmCham, right? AmCham is the Australian and American Chamber of Commerce. There is the UK, there's the United States and International Chamber. There's all these governing bodies. There's even China, the Hispanic associations and chambers with the American trade markets. There are so many different organizations here with business owners in them as member groups, right? So my favorite ones are the professional industry, the city or state-based chambers. So the Chamber of Commerce that are sponsored by the state, not private, sponsored by the state, right? And trade associations like exchange associations for business, right? Every country has them. Every city, every major city has a trade association in their city where they are trying to attract and engage businesses, not only from their city to other cities, but to drive business from other cities to their business. So every major city has a trade association in it, right? So, and they're really easy to find, as part of that process. So this just gives you a different level. The ones I like, the professional industry associations, they're all about money. The city chambers or the chambers are about commerce, bringing business, and then the trades, they're all about the ones that have people who are trying to build their businesses to acquire new customers through relationships with other businesses in other markets, right? So those are my favorites, okay? So the idea is you want to pick up one group, pick one and go deep. This is the strategy I'm going to share with you, okay? Now, I would not, you don't need to join. So my second point here of joining association as a supply chain member, I would only do that once I've established that I can pick up 2 or 3 clients. If I've been able to pick up 2 or 3 clients within an industry group, then I would consider becoming a supply chain member for the association. Now, some association fees can be expensive, but a lot of association fees are under $1,000. Sometimes to be a trade reference person within an association, $300 a year. Like, it's nothing. But that $300 gives you full access to all the membership. It gives you full access to all the events. It gives you full access to a whole bunch of stuff behind the curtain of the association. You have a lot more access, right? This is one way. So my thing would be, is I always, if I'm going to go to an association, I want to get 2 or 3 clients first in that market. If I can get 2 or 3 clients and I know the association represents my market, well, I'm going into the niche, right? I'm going full in. So I would join the association as a supply chain member. That's what I would do, right? Now, I would actively get involved as a member of the association. It's not just a matter of sitting back and going, great, I'm a member now and I can go trawl through the lists. But if you want to make some real money and you want to pick up clients real fast, a lot of these organizations will accept volunteer help. So what I would do is I would find out who the committees are. And my favorite committee is the membership committee. Because if you're in a professional organization, you're part of the membership committee, you see every business member come in. You get to meet all the business people, the owners, you get to meet all the decision makers, you get to meet all the members. So my favorite committee within an association is to be part of the membership committee. Now, in your role in that membership committee, you might take an honorary role where if they're promoting an event, you might help them to promote an event. You might donate 2 or 3 hours of your time in a month to support the membership committee, right? But the cool thing about being in that committee is you have direct access to all the members. You have direct access to all the clients. You have an opportunity to build relationships in those markets, right? One of the things that these organizations do very inexpensively is they give you opportunities to invest in advertising or sponsorship. I've taken full page ads out in industry magazines for like less than $300, like full page ads for $300 for one issue of a newsletter, right? I mean, super, super cheap, right? Here's the other thing. I was invited to be the guest editor of a particular publication within an association. And they gave me 6 issues. I paid no money for this, but they gave me 4 pages. And on each of the 4 pages was my byline, my company, who I represented and where I was. So within a year, I literally generated dozens and dozens and dozens of clients purely because I contributed marketing ideas to their publication, right? I was the marketing guy in their association. And so they would just continue. Anybody would ask questions. Hey, who's the marketing guy? Go and talk to John's team. They're the marketing people, right? Because I was all over the magazine. I even got a few covers of that magazine. It was phenomenal, right? Just in one association. And by the way, I didn't pay for any of it. They asked me to contribute because I said, hey, there's not enough stuff about marketing in your publications. One of the ways in which your businesses grow is how they expose themselves to the market. I'd love to be able to contribute to your magazine. Can I do that? How much space will you give me? And they gave me 4 pages, 4 full pages on every issue. And guess what? I never wrote a single article the whole time I had those 4 pages. I actually went and hired somebody else to write all the articles for me and do the research and say, go and find this stuff. And then I got to place it, right? I would edit it. I would not just take the information and just publish it. I would edit the information, put my slant on and just chuck it in. So I didn't have to come up with the ideas. I would say, hey, I need you to go and interview a few people in the market, ask some questions and this is a way which also opened the door to building relationships with leaders within the market is by interviewing them for the marketing pages. Hey, we're writing an article for the blog, for the post, or for the magazine this month, and we thought we'd feature your business. You mind if we ask a couple of questions? And you get to know them, right? And in that conversation, oftentimes what happens is they get to know you and say, so this is I'm helping them with this, but my business is this. They go, oh, I noticed that you've got this business, right? So providing valuable content or relevant content within an association and looking at advertising opportunities, which are very inexpensive, gives you massive exposure, massive brand awareness. It also identifies you as a specialist and an expert in their field, which means you can now use the fact that you are a member of the association, that you are recognized as a preferred supplier or a chain supplier with an organization. This gives you tons of marketing clout, right? One of the things that I always do in an association is I want to befriend the current, the future, and the past leadership. I want to do some research, I want to get to know them, because if you get to know the leadership, you get to help the leadership are going to introduce you to everybody. This is one of the easiest ways to get referrals with highly targeted individuals, is get to know the president, get to know the chiefs of key committees, befriend them, support them, help them out, right? It's really simple stuff to do. Be a friend to have a friend, which is a great philosophy, right? A friend of mine, Alan McGovern, always said to me, John, to have a friend, you have to be a friend first, right? It's a great philosophy, be the friend. How can you be the friend? How can you be supportive? How can you be encouraging? Because the cool thing about this is this will pay massive dividends. They will look for ways to share you with their connections, right? You want hot leads and hot clients and hot markets, this is the strategy, right? The other thing is, eventually, if you really go deep into an association, is become a leader, become a chair of a committee. Once you become a chair of a committee, that is a moniker that you carry, an identifier that you carry with you everywhere within the industry, right? That is huge marketing clout for people. By the way, this is a very counterintuitive approach to getting clients. However, this is the way a lot of organizations get business, right? So understand that this one area of business holds massive opportunities. So I want to share with you Lisa, one of my champions. I talked about this idea of going into an association, opening the door to doing business with members of that association. And she did this, without joining. She did this without joining the association, right? So I'm going to walk you through exactly the strategy that I laid out for her. I'm going to share with you exactly what happened when she implemented the strategy, right? And even to this day, she is still using this strategy to leverage within a particular niche market that she works in. To this day, she still uses that leverage. Now, I know that there's a whole bunch of ideas and concepts going around your head, and I just want to stop sharing at the moment to check in with you, right? One thing I've done, offer to be photographer, association events, award shows. You get full access to everybody, and they all want you to take their photo. Easy way to get, that John McDermott is a very powerful way to go and get clients, right? The magazines. Went to an attorney's office. There was a stack of attorney industry magazines in the waiting room. They love to see their name, contact info, print, makes them easy to find and contact with. Yes, again, industry publications also have lots of prospective customers in them. The association market has phenomenal opportunities to do business. It is one of the best places to find business clients. So from all the stuff that I've just shared so far in the last 50 minutes, if you were to look at your notes, what's some takeaways? What are some takeaways? If you can type it in the chat before I move on and walk you through exactly what Lisa did to generate millions of dollars worth of revenue out of one association. What are the takeaways so far that you've picked up? And what's an idea that you've picked up on so far that I've shared in this training? If you can type it in the chat so that we can call it out for you. There's a whole bunch of people here watching this, and I want to say thank you for being here. Hope this has been worthwhile, worth your time in being here. Any ideas, any takeaways, just type it in the chat and I'll call it out. If you can hear me still, just type 2 so I know that you're alive. If you're just sitting in the background, I get it. Join and become part of the tribe. Absolutely, Johnny. Join and become, and by the way, a lot of associations very, yeah, 2, I'm here. Any other takeaways? Other than Johnny, any other takeaways from what I've just shared of this training? Any other takeaways? Great tip for Chamber of Commerce. Ask them to send you their member directory. It's always free. They call business. Yeah, they give businesses that are listed. Absolutely. Say to the gatekeeper, I'm calling from the Chamber directory, and they put you right through. Very good point, John. Befriend the leadership. Absolutely. Befriend the leadership. That just opens the doors, so many big doors. Action, no excuses. There's money everywhere. Yes, there is money everywhere, Mark. Right? There is money everywhere. All right, so I'm going to walk you through what Lisa did. And she literally, everything that I'm about to share with you, I literally walked her through this and she applied it. First time out of the gate, it literally generated hundreds of thousands of dollars worth of sales. What Lisa's business was, she would create content. She was a content creator for social media, video, blog posts, all that sort of stuff. That's what her agency was all about. She would charge her clients at the low end. They'd be paying like $3 grand a month. At the high end, some clients were paying a 15 to 20 grand a month for content for the market. So she was a content agency for social media. That was her thing. And she wanted to leverage through an association. So I'm just going to go to the slides here very quickly. Yeah. All right. So So she decided, okay, John, I want to go and do a leverage play, generate lots of clients. I want to pick an association, right? I said, okay, great. So there's a whole bunch of associations. I want you to do a little bit of Google search, come up with a list of about 4 or 5 associations, some that you might have an interest in or industries you might be interested in knowing a little bit about. Let's look at those 5 industries. The industry she chose was the Direct Sales Association. The Direct Sales Association is represented by companies who do exactly that, go direct to market with their products. So cosmetics companies, product category companies, people who run a lot of the companies that support products through infomercials. These are direct sales organizations. The companies, the members within the Direct Sales Association, they are worth, some of those companies are worth billions of dollars, like billions of dollars, really, really big companies, right? So they have an international association, they have countries, national associations, they have state-based and city-based associations. So this is a large organization. She chose to go straight to the top in Australia and decided to speak to the national president of the Direct Sales Association. That's what she did, right? So essentially she interviewed the association president of an international association. The Australian association president just happened to be the international president at the time, right? Just happened to be the international president. So she approached the guy and said, listen, I know your industry, I want to know more about your industry, but I'm actually just interviewing because I want to see where this industry can actually improve and look at the opportunities for trends. You being the president of the association, I would love to understand your opinion of what you believe to be things that the industry should be making aware of when it came to things like social media and online marketing and all those sorts of things. Can you give me 20 minutes of your time for that interview? And he said, mistakenly, yes. Now that 20 minutes turned out to be a 2.5-hour interview. The first 20 minutes, she sat there and she just asked questions. She asked questions about him, his history, what he was all about, what he believed the industry was about, what he believed the association should be doing. She just asked a whole bunch of questions. And one of the questions she asked is, does the industry, or do you as an association have a plan, a strategic plan on what's happening for the future? And he says, as a matter of fact, Lisa, I do. And he goes and pulls down this big leather-bound volume off the thing. He said, yes, we paid an accounting company, a consulting company, $80,000 to put this report together for us. Because as an association, they have to do compliance. So they spent $80,000 on a report on the industry and where it's heading and what it's doing. And she asked the question, have you read the report page? Now, she said, honestly, right, jokingly, be honest with me, Prez, right? Did you read this report? Have you read this $80,000 report from front to back? And she said, to be honest, no, I haven't had the opportunity to do that, but it is on my list to do. She says, there's a lot of information in here, and I would imagine that the industry would want that information, but nobody's going to read a 600-page report. Do you agree? And he said, yes. She said, look, what I'd love to do for you, and because you probably don't want to read 600 pages, right? What I'd love to do is I would like to take out all the key components in this report, put it into a slide deck and provide it to you so you have a document you can share with your organization and walk people through the key points of this report. And he looked at her and said, how much can you do that for? Right? That's a great idea. How much could you do that for? And she said, you know what? I'll do it for free, right? This will give me an opportunity to get to know you guys a little bit better, but also it'll be something that you've given me a lot of time, you've been very generous. I want to be very generous to you. I want to give this back to you. And he said, fantastic. So she went away for 2 weeks, put her thing together, and she went and delivered this report to him, right? She said, hey, put it all together. I'll put the presentation together and I'll deliver the thing. And this is something you can deliver to your AGM at the next AGM. And he said, that's amazing, right? So they went through, they sat down. And what happened was, he said, you know what? Would you like to deliver this to the annual general meeting? Could I get you to deliver this presentation to the annual general meeting because you put it together so beautifully, it looks amazing. And she says, I'll go one better. We'll get a film crew to film it so that we can leverage the report and send it out to all the people. And she said, that's a great idea, right? So for $15,000, right, Lisa got to present to the annual general meeting the industry trends and report as a content social media specialist for the industry on behalf of the association, right? So she goes and delivers this report. At the end of that association, there were 35 people in that room, 35 members at the AGM. This is a senior meeting, right? There were 35 members of the AGM. $5 billion corporations, CEOs, had just been listening to Lisa talk about the key factors, trends, opportunities in the marketplace, and introducing herself as the specialist for content. 5 people said, Lisa, you need to come and talk to us and help us in our organization. Large companies. One company said, hey, we've got a $100,000 budget for a test on a campaign. Can you help us with that? Right? For a test, not to run the campaign, just $100,000 to test the campaign, right? So she delivered to the AGM, 5 clients from the presentation of the AGM. She was invited to help with an international marketing submission. So now the association hired her, because she did a great job on the presentation, to put together a submission for Australia as the leading direct sales association in the world, amongst all the direct sales associations around the world. So they paid her for that job. They paid her 25 grand to submit a marketing submission. And guess what? They flew her to New Zealand to the international conference to present it, right? And lo and behold, they won the event. They won the actual submission for their findings. So 25 grand, they became the leading direct sales association in the world, right? Again, Lisa picks up opportunities for clients. But here's the cool thing, right? She eventually, what happened was they invited her as a speaker on content marketing, on content social media marketing at the international conference. She was flown around the world at the expense of the association to share the importance of content marketing and social media strategy for businesses around the world. Now, Lisa has grown her business from that business. She now owns a plumbing company. She bought a plumbing company. She bought a plumbing franchise. She's not a plumber, right? She's not a plumber. She bought a plumbing franchise because she believed that she could build systems and processes for that industry because she saw a gap in the market. And now the industry association in Australia is actually licensing Lisa's marketing to all plumbers as members in their organization. So they're licensing it to her for millions of dollars, one association. So it doesn't take much. Now, the cool thing was, and this is the funniest thing, Lisa never became a member of the association that she represented. She never became a member, but she became a recognized authority for content, media, and social marketing, right, in those industries, in those organizations, right? Very, very cool stuff, right? So I'm just going to stop sharing right there. Any takeaways? Any takeaways? So she didn't know. All she did was say, hey, I want to find out. She spoke to an association president and it started from there. And she ended up working for the association on numerous occasions. She actually ended up building the funnel for the association, the actual marketing funnel, and charged them, I believe, $125,000 to build the funnel for them. She generated a lot of projects out of that one association contact. Any questions? Any observations? Questions or observations? If this is over the top of your head or is it too much, feel free to ask. Learning the client, this is a great way to learn the client, yeah. You actually do, when you look at associations, the cool thing about associations is part of their ethos is to help their industry grow. And part of helping the industry grow is to provide things like education and ideas and access to tools and resources and people like you to be able to help people. Chris, one of my previous podcasting partner, he gets paid once a month, £1,500 to actually deliver a presentation to the United Kingdom Manufacturers Association. So once a month for an hour, he does a webinar, which is paid to deliver. It's £1,500 to deliver that 1 hour presentation. And on average, you'll pick up between 3 and 5 clients every presentation because they invite all their members to learn about internet marketing or online marketing for manufacturing groups. And he brings in experts and does a whole bunch of stuff because he's the recognized face for online marketing for manufacturers in the United Kingdom, right? He now owns that space. And all his clients, product-based companies, manufacturing-based companies, all come just from him talking once a month and delivering a presentation, which is then replayed or provided as a recording, branded to all the members of the Manufacturers Association in the United Kingdom. And he picks up lots of clients. In fact, Chris and I went to CES one time together, the Consumer Electronics Show, and he was fortunate enough to pick up 3 clients, over 350 grand worth of work, just from a trade show within an association, right? Thanks, Drew, appreciate it. I've been approached to help e-commerce create a plan to grow their online sales. Thinking of offering that plan needed to grow sales online, maybe present this plan to associations. Yes, that's a great idea, Mark. If you've got a great plan and a great strategy, you can share it within the industry, right? People always park up when you tell them that you wish to get them into the media. Nearly always will agree to an interview as a subject matter expert. Tip, get a number of industry interviews, put together a book which they then is your authority piece. Yes, these are all tactical things you can do, John, to build yourself with an authority within an association in a marketplace. Absolutely, absolutely. But to me, this is such a green glasses opportunity. Like, there are so many avenues within those markets. The thing that you've got to be mindful of is how you can add value, right? If you can add value with education, that's awesome. That's a big plus. If you can add value with resources, that's a big plus to the industry. Anything like that is welcomed, right? If you can support, show ways in which you can encourage growth, even just help, be of offer of help, it literally opens the channel to tons of clients in the marketplace. So, I want to very quickly share with you that we are running an event here in next week, and it's called consultancylive.com, the web event for good. We're raising a little bit of money for some charities. For each $97 ticket sold to this event, we're going to pay for the education for 1 child for an entire year, an underprivileged child. 3 families are going to have fresh, clean water plumbed into their homes. That is life-changing for those families. And we're going to plant 20 tangerine trees for a farmer in Africa to support his family and his community. Every $97 ticket has multiple impacts in the marketplace. Now, the web event, it's 2 days. Practical, tactical, client engagement strategies. I'm going to talk about things like getting and managing a 100 lead bundle, right? How to get a 100 lead bundle and manage that into sales. We're going to do live offers on those 2 days. So we're going to I'm going to craft a campaign for you. I'm going to give you a whole series of campaigns that you can use that have already worked. But what I want to do is launch campaigns to generate 2 things. 1, direct sales, or 2, appointment opportunities. So I want to do, as part of the live workshop in this event, I'm actually going to be crafting an offer for you that you can release and launch and generate client opportunities. I'm going to share with you a 1-call close process. So how do you take a person all the way through the sales process to get them pay you on the spot? No invoicing, no semi-agreement and contract, all done in one place, in one process. So if you want to speed up your sales process and, more importantly, speed up your conversions, I'm going to walk you through that structure live in the training. And the other thing I'm going to do is what most people don't do is I want to actually show you how you can eliminate every objection before you get to your presentation. So all you've got to do at your presentation is show them how you're going to help them. That's it. Right? They're already convinced you've eliminated all the objections. So the objections I want to help you eliminate are the money objection, the timing objection, the need to think about objection, the I need to talk to my partner objection. I want to eliminate all of that right up front, right? And also understand that they are willing to spend the money, that they've agreed to a budget before you've done the presentation. So in this 2-day workshop, that's what I'm going to be doing. I'm going to show you some really cool stuff. I'm going to share with you a tactic that a lot of people don't do to speed up the process of trust so people like you and want to buy. We call it the indoctrination process. I'm going to walk you through exactly what that looks like as part of this training. So this is 2 days. It's happening on the 25th and the 26th of March, which is next week. It is 2 4-hour sessions. There's some bonus trainings already available that are worth well more than the $97 you'll invest in this ticket. But if you go to consultingunleashedlive.com, you'll be able to book a ticket and get access to some amazing trainings. I've got a training in there on how to sell paid strategy sessions. So you don't do free strategy anymore. You actually get paid for your time, right? And if you're being paid for your time, you're actually going to convert better clients because the clients are already committed financially. That means that they will always commit financially more. The conversion rates on paid strategy sessions is way higher than if you're giving away free strategy sessions. I give you tactical things, how to generate leads in trainings. I'm going to give you pricing strategies. There's also how you can sell lead management if you're doing lead gen, how you can attach lead management as a paid service to that as well. All of that going to be provided on the 2 days of training. There's also going to be resources and a whole bunch of stuff that I'll be giving you to support your efforts. The goal of this 2 days is to just get you focused on the number one thing that your business needs, and that is to acquire customers. And I want to make that as easy as possible. And I want to give you every opportunity to be able to do that actually inside the event, right? So if you're looking for clients, for $97, your $97 is going to help a lot of families. As I said, I'm using this to raise funds for some needed charities in the world. And there's a lot of people in the world that need some help, considering what we've gone through or are going through. And for that, I want to honor you with some of the best training that I've got, and also some of the best live coaching that I can provide you with over those 2 days. So if you want to join me, go to consultingunleashedlive.com. If you've got your mobile phone, you can scan that QR code. It will take you straight there. And you'll also be able to access that private portal members area with all those tools and resources once you've taken on the ticket. I've had a whole bunch of people here already buy the ticket. I appreciate you already for purchasing the ticket. Your contribution to the charity is phenomenal. I want to say thank you to those people who already done that. If you're interested in joining me for those 2 days, it is well worth it. It is live with me. By the way, this is not a really big event, right? It's not a really big event. I need to keep this fairly intimate. And the reason why I do that is so that I can work with you closely through those 2 days. So if you want some coaching from me privately over those 2 days, then I would highly recommend that you jump in. Thank you, Johnny Odell, for saying it's awesome. Drew, there is a ton of trainings already attached to the event. Those recordings for $97, that's way too cheap, way too cheap. The stuff that I've already got in there for you, there's over $2,000 worth of training in already. But you'll be able to follow along. Let me tell you, the results we've been able to get for people through the event have been extraordinary. So this is a web event for good. Like I said, we're raising money for charity, but at the same time, I want to be able to help you, work with you, and give you the best of what I got to be able to move forward in your business. Some of my champions are going to be there. You're going to see some of the people who are running significant businesses and learn from them as well. So the event is available to you as we speak. Already signing up, I'll be definitely signing up. Thank you, Latika. Awesome. Appreciate you doing that. So with that, consultingunleashedlive.com. Now, I'm going to hop on here tomorrow, which is your Sunday, my Monday. I'm going to talk about other cool marketing stuff to generate clients. So if you want to join me tomorrow, it'll be same time, same channel. Keep an eye out for my posts. If you haven't joined Consulting Unleashed, the Facebook group, join the Facebook group. You'll see me in there. Hopefully, if those have been joining me on these trainings, hopefully you've been getting all that. John just purchased a ticket. Thank you very much, John. I appreciate that. How are you doing not being able to travel? JB Wilson, thank you for asking that question. It's been a while since I've been able to go home back to the United States. That's where my world is, but right now my world is here in Australia. I'm very fortunate to live in a beautiful place. In fact, it's pouring down rain outside here. I'm in a tropical rainforest. Of course, lots of rain, rainforest. But do I miss my travel? I absolutely do miss my travel. I miss my home. I miss my friends a lot. But you know, I intend to be traveling this year, getting back to you know, what I call home, back to the US, yeah, super excited about that. But JB, thanks for asking, mate. But yeah, it's been hard not traveling, but I'm trying to get a bit to come home. Thanks, John McDermott, for purchasing the ticket. That's awesome. Appreciate you. So if you want to join me, consultingunleashedlive.com, scan the QR code. If you want to scan it right there off the screen, or just go to the URL, you'll be able to buy a ticket. I'll be spending 2 days with you, 2 4-hour sessions. The goal is to get you to apply what you learn and make it happen. JB says, I'll be there. Awesome, mate. I appreciate you being there as well. So with that, I want to thank you. I'm going to be here, same time, same bad channel. I hope you have learned a lot from what I'm going to be sharing. Whole new topic. Keep an eye out for the post. And I'll invite you in if you want to share an hour with me. With that, I want to say thanks for being here. I look forward to seeing you on another live training. Make sure you jump into the event. Love to see you. Go to consultingunleashedlive.com. scan that QR code, get to that website, and I'll see you there as well. Take care, everybody.